Yeah, make sure you put that you're fine with living with any gender or else...
Gender inclusive housing.
Yeah, gender
There's
inclusive housing. Check it. Because if you don't, your options are going to be limited for the dorms and you're not going to understand what happened. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Tori and I do fashion, beauty, lifestyle videos. And to just get right into what we're doing today, me and my friend Kaan are doing a fashion school video where we answer your guys' questions. I posted it on my Twitter and my Instagram story. So that's where we got the questions from. So we're just gonna go right into it. The best fashion schools.
Parsons and FIT.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would say. Parsons and FIT are the top. If you're going to go to school in the city or just in the United States for fashion, those two definitely. Best and worst parts about living in NYC.
There's like a lot of grocery shopping and just like, because you're in the city and you're not on like a traditional campus, there's a lot of like just like everyday life activities that you have to get used to doing. Yeah,
there's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, at FIT, most kids only live in the dorms their first year. So, like, I have my own apartment, and I always, like, was good with, like, taking care of things at home, but it really was a new responsibility for me when I had to move into my own apartment. I had to start cleaning, like, fully cleaning my own bathroom, keeping my apartment clean, having money to decorate, you know, taking care of my cat. Like, it was just a whole new thing, so it's a lot of responsibility, which is good and bad.
And even if you're just in the dorms, there's still a lot of like just shopping just for mundane stuff and a lot of walking too. Yeah. Because you don't have a car.
Yeah, and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
But like all these things could be good or bad because like walking like really like keeps you in shape and like looking nice and like you get exercise and you don't have to like go to the gym as much.
And you can show off your fit like all the time.
Straight flex. How did you get so informed about fashion and what content, websites, people do you use to stay updated and informed?
I read a lot of L'Officiel. That's like my go-to magazine.
Yeah.
And also like Instagram, just following designers really just gives you an idea of what's out there and like events that are going on.
Yeah. My thing is my Twitter is where I get a lot of stuff because I follow like Vanessa Friedman, like Hot La Mode, those kind of accounts that do update you on fashion stuff. And there's a lot of things through our school websites that you're able to access that have like trend forecasters. I can't wait to edit all this. But yeah, basically just Twitter, Instagram, some of the databases that our school gives us. Yeah. Tips on how to get into fashion.
I would definitely recommend doing pre-college programs at FIT if you live in the metropolitan area because it really prepares you exactly for what the classes are going to be like. And like they also have portfolio classes, which is what I took.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say to be part of like Instagram and Twitter communities that involve fashion and that are really into fashion if you don't live in the nearby area. But if you do, there's pre-college classes at FIT, LIM, Pratt, Parsons, the new school, that do fashion classes.
And FITs are super cheap.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much exactly what you do in college.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, exactly. And then you establish relationships with professors. And like one of my teachers, he was my first pre-college teacher, and I had him for class, and he really like loved me in pre-college. So then that transferred over to college and like made that class like not easier for me, but like I already had a good relationship with the teacher. So yeah.
And you meet cool people like Tori.
Yeah, I've known Mr. Kaan for like 4 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Met in pre-college.
Yeah, we met my junior year, your sophomore year of high school, going in year. Why did you choose FIT? We could do, what are we majoring in? I'm majoring in a lot of things apparently. I was design, now I'm fashion business management, but I'm finishing fashion business management in the fall and I'm re-entering the design program. So I'll keep y'all updated, but honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing.
And I'm just in design.
Just in design?
Yeah.
Why did you choose FIT?
Just because I knew, I did pre-college here, And so it just felt like a natural extension to just go to FIT. Plus, it's really inexpensive compared to Parsons, and it's still like
Really
a world-renowned school.
Yeah, like a really good school. I chose FIT because ever since I was little, I wanted to go to FIT. And this girl that I was best friends with in 10th grade said to me, let's take pre-college with me. I do it at FIT. And I had no clue they had that. And then I started going, and I had my teacher that, like, I literally had last semester for marketing. And I just, like, loved the school. Like, I looked forward to, because I really didn't like high school, every Friday night, instead of going to parties and stuff in my town, I was, like, ready to go to pre-college on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was so excited. And I just loved everyone I got to meet, and I loved learning about fashion. And so I just really loved FIT, and I really loved how they taught things and, like, the programs and the teachers. So it was just a natural fit for me. I really liked it. How did you create your portfolio to apply?
I took a portfolio class, and I had a professor who was really, really good. And basically in the class, you just work on exactly what the parameters of the portfolio project are. So I had, like, the whole presentation board things with the croquis and the swatches. And I basically just used that for my
I wish I
application.
did that. I wish I did that. I lost my mind preparing for my FIT portfolio.
Oh, same.
I was so stressed about it, and I didn't take the portfolio class, because by the time I realized it was a portfolio class, it was, like, time for me to apply. So I wouldn't have, like, finished my stuff, you know what I mean, in time. But my portfolio, I just took what I learned in pre-college, like in my drawing classes, and then I was in AP Art in high school, and part of my AP Art exam, I used my my application for FIT as part of that. So my teacher, my AP Art teacher, helped me with it too. So yeah, that's how I prepared mine. Also, do not start it like a month before it's due. That's a living nightmare.
Because there's also a sewing component to it, so you have to have, I think, 2 pieces.
3, I think.
Oh, I think, okay. Yeah, it might have been 3. Also, no, I think it was 2.
Because I handed in a top, a skirt, and pant.
I just had to do a top and a bottom.
They changed it, wig.
Yeah. Okay, so I think right now it's like 2 garment pieces, and...
Mine was 3. I'm bitter.
Well, regardless, I recommend starting the sewing component as soon as possible, because it's just, like, refreshing to have the sewing out of the way, because it takes way longer than you expect. And it's stressful because you have to have, like, a photo shoot with it. So just get that out of the way.
Remember when we did that? We changed in Starbucks for mine? We were for my portfolio shoot, we literally went and we changed in Starbucks bathrooms into my different pieces of clothing and took pictures in New York. Also, what I would highly recommend is to include zippers or buttons in the stuff that you make, because I was talking to the head of the design department when I was applying, and she was saying that adding zippers and doing things that would be, like, a little harder to do go further with the people in the program, and they like to see that.
Yeah.
So definitely do that.
Just don't wait.
Yeah, do not wait. Do not wait, because I literally worked on mine for months, and I was still stressed until, like, the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite class?
Drawing.
Drawing. Me too. I'm in fashion art and design for business students, and that's my favorite class. My teacher is so funny and nice, and he teaches us so many different things, like so many different styles of drawing pieces and articles of clothing, and then we, like, combine them all. And, like, right now I'm working on a collection. We had to choose a designer, and we're going to, like, design for their brand, so I'm doing Martin Margiela, and so I've been collecting research on that, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah. You always have, like, a collection where you have to design for, like, a contemporary designer or a past designer. And so right now I'm doing one for Pierre Cardin. Super cool.
It's so funny we're, like, doing the same project.
Yeah. How many croquis do you have?
For mine, I think it's 7.
Okay, we have 8. So.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's, like, the same amount, too. How was your transition into fashion school?
Honestly, there really wasn't that much of a transition because I was used to it.
Yeah.
And it's, like, the same thing as pre-college. And I keep on saying that, but it's really like that's the way it is.
A lot of people I know had a hard reality check.
Yeah.
Like coming here and moving to New York and stuff, but Kaan and I are from like this area, and we spent like our whole entire high school lives like running away to the city on the weekend and like running around and doing things. So for me and Kaan, it was what we were doing all the time except permanently.
Yeah.
So like that was a bit of a like adjustment in a way, because it's like we get to like stay out late and like go out and then, you know, like have somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
So like that's a slight difference, but it wasn't a hard adjustment.
Yeah, you really get used to it quickly because it's way more fun than anything you've ever been used to.
Yeah.
And it's definitely more fun than going to like a college that's not in the city.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
Don't procrastinate on projects.
I was just gonna say really, time management.
No, yeah, it's so bad. Like, especially if you're in design, things can just pile up more and more, like, every single week. And you're like, oh, well, it's not due, like, right now. Because they give a significant amount of time for each project. But that project is, like, your whole grade. So, like, for, like, sewing, you pretty much have 2 major projects. And, like, I'm up, like, the night before, like, finishing them. But this semester, I've changed. And I've learned from first semester. Just do not procrastinate. Me
and my friend Jillian, first semester, used to literally go out all night, get back at, like, 4 in the morning, and then wake up at 6 or 7 and start draping and drape for 12 hours.
No.
And literally, we'd be in the draping room, like, crying at, like, 9 p.m. And we'd be like, oh, no. But then we would get A's. So we would keep doing it.
Same,
so it was so bad.
Do
not do that. You'll have like a panic attack.
You'll get an A, probably, if you put like work into it.
A lot of work, yeah.
But like, it's just not the feeling of stress of putting like a drawing project together at like 5 a.m. 2 hours before it's due, and you're like, oh my god. Like, oh.
The biggest relief is getting that stuff done.
Yeah.
And I've learned now, like, with my drawing projects, I literally used to do them like 2 days before and then just be working on it for 2 days straight. I've learned if I do a little bit of it each day, that it's like the night before I have like 2 hours of work and then I go to sleep and then I'm not like dying in class the next day from no sleep or 13 minutes of sleep or whatever.
For drawing, sewing, and draping, I definitely recommend doing it like gradually each day.
Yeah. Also, if you're going into business, the first half of the semester, you're like, I have no work. This is pretty easy. I get like 1 assignment per class. I'm telling you, the second half of the semester, don't know what happens, don't know what changes, but they're like, you have a 10-page paper due for each class. All due like the same day and a final.
Oof.
Yeah. So like, just make sure with business, do not wait until the last minute to start your final projects. Like, they'll give it to you 2 months ahead of time, but no one looks at it until, like, the last few weeks. Don't do that, because all of your classes are going to do that, and it's going to pile up. And the last, like, month of school for me, last semester, I was literally sitting typing this paper on Versace. Like, I swear, like, I was walking to Dwayne Reed typing this paper on Versace on my phone, because I had to get it done. So, yeah. What's it like being a fashion design major? How hands-on are your classes? How often do you actually have to create garments?
It's pretty stressful. And they're all pretty hands-on, except for classes like digital design, where you're working with Photoshop, or like textiles, which is mostly reading a textbook, and then also the art history courses. But the rest, like draping, sewing, and drawing, you're mostly just doing things the whole time. And for the garments, it's for classes like pattern making, draping, and sewing. Like, that's where you're going to be making the garments. For sewing, it's basically just 2 garments per semester. And for draping, it depends on what semester you're in. But you're pretty much going to be draping the whole time, but they won't be complete garments. And then from your second semester onward, you're draping and sewing real, like, wearable garments.
Do you think it's possible to achieve careers in your majors and fields without attending proper schooling and learning through self-gained experience? My thing with that is, through school, the most important thing I would say we get through our schooling is our connections. There's so many good opportunities, and there's a private portal for FIT students for jobs and internships. So, like, I just applied for an internship at Alexander Wang, and there's a lot of really good stuff like that, and you can't access that unless you're an FIT student. But if you have connections through your family or otherwise, you could potentially have a career, but it's just like you have to have something to get you somewhere, I feel like.
Yeah. And also FIT is like very good at teaching techniques.
Yeah.
Couture techniques, and I feel like that's extremely useful in the industry. They're pretty rigorous, especially in certain classes like draping. It's very hands-on, and it really does prepare you for what you'll be doing in the real world.
Like my first semester sewing teacher literally made us do haute couture sewing, hand sewing for some of our projects. Like you would have to hand baste like the seam and like blah, 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 blah. And it's stuff that is really important to learn.
Mm-hmm. And all the teachers have useful tips too that you won't get anywhere else really. Yeah. So you can do it like without FIT, but it's just a lot more of a comprehensive experience if you do.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot harder to break into the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is fashion school worth it if you want to start your own brand? I would say yes, because I want to start my own brand. I just think it is.
Yeah. But my only thing here is that if you major in fashion design, they're not very strong on business courses.
Yeah.
So you'll have to take them as part of a minor because you're kind of shut out of taking actual business classes for the major. So you have to like gain your knowledge from business elsewhere.
Yeah. What I would say, because what I'm doing, I can get into this more in another video, but pretty much I'm getting an associate's in design and fashion business so that I'm prepared to run my own brand. Mm-hmm. And that's more complicated, but that's what I'm doing because I think it's best for my path, which is to be a creative director of a brand and then to eventually start my own brand. Because with fashion design, you don't get any business classes, but in fashion business, you don't really have any design and art classes. I'm in fashion art and design for business, but that's like one of the only ones. So I feel like it's really essential to have both of those to start your own brand. How do you get inspired to design pieces? I feel like when you're in design, you don't really have time to get inspired to make pieces. You just have to make them.
Low key.
It doesn't matter if you're inspired or not. But like me personally, because I make garments on my own time, because I'm not currently doing that in classes, I get inspired really through art and periods of time. So like the Art Deco movement or certain movies I'll derive inspiration from. What about you?
Well, really, if you're a design major, you sort of you like things that you like and you don't like what you don't like. Yeah. So just pick what you're passionate about. Like for me, it's, I don't know, Rococo art or like other periods or like art movements.
What is the workload like at FIT?
It's a lot, but it doesn't feel like a lot at certain times, and sometimes it really isn't, but if you procrastinate, it really
if you procrastinate, you will be spending days doing like one project. Like you will be like swamped, but if you pace everything nicely, you won't. But because this is such a field that like Kaan and I are so passionate about, it doesn't really feel like work a lot of the time because it's something you love. Mm-hmm. But also it does get really intense at times.
Yeah, and especially because classes are so long at FIT, like sewing is 4 hours, draping is 4 hours for first semester. You really, as soon as you get back to your dorm, you just want to chill.
Yeah, exactly.
And like take a nap. So like you just put off your homework for the weekend, which can get you into like a funk.
Yeah, because then you want to go out and hang out with your friends, but it's like honestly, like you don't really have you don't have a lot of time to just be like kind of like dilly-dallying. Like you have to be very time efficient or else it's going to like mess up your grade. What would you recommend as a way to stay motivated through college?
Just have fun on Friday nights.
Yeah, honestly, just like work really hard on the days that you have class, even though you might be tired. Like this semester, I only have class 2 days a week. And what I do is those 2 days and then like my Wednesdays, I spend all doing work. And just really making sure I have my work done for the next week. And then the next 3-4 days I have to just hang out and work on my YouTube channel and work on my art and my projects and stuff.
Yeah, because you got to give yourself a break.
Yeah.
You really do. You need to release all like the stress.
Yeah, or else you get too like like in it.
Yeah.
Like I have 7 classes next semester and I'm kind of like tweaking out about it, but like it's fine, I'll be fine. Y'all won't see me ever. But what are some things to keep in mind while taking design classes?
That anything you do for a class can be used for a future portfolio.
Absolutely.
For like internships, like what you do at FIT can easily be submitted in like.
Yeah, make
like
sure to add everything into your portfolio book.
Yeah.
And also when you're designing things, just keep in the back of your mind, like a target customer, like let's say you're doing a collection, make your collection either perfectly to a like super avant-garde theme, or make sure when you're making things, think who would this cater to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make everything professional because.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see people in drawing classes, they don't have their figures cut out properly, and it's like, it looks tacky, it looks disgusting, it looks unprofessional.
Yeah.
But the students who actually try and actually make the most of like the assignments that they do for class, like you can put that in your portfolio and you're good to go.
Because then like you don't have to make new stuff for your portfolio if you just work really hard on your school projects.
Yeah. And like for the portfolio, it's like so much work. So like why not just like use your school projects to like the maximum.
Was it what you expected it would be? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've done a lot of flip-flopping with my major and stuff. So I was really confused at one time, but now that everything's like settled and I like know what I'm doing for graduation and stuff, yeah, it is what I expected it would be.
Yeah, they really don't pull any surprises on you.
I want to study fashion design but can't draw or do art in school. Any tips? I would recommend you maybe get a tutor, like someone who can teach you how to do fashion figures. In the city, they have a lot of people who do that, like privately, like art kids, and like professors will do like classes, like private lessons where you pay them, because for FIT you need to know how to draw figures and stuff. You don't need to know how to perfectly draw them and stuff, but you have to be able to draw clothing and portray your concepts well enough that they can determine whether they want to admit you or not.
Yeah, knowing how to draw it's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And you're going to be doing it a lot.
Yeah.
So I recommend learning now rather than later.
Just make sure you portray your concepts well enough through your drawings that they can understand what you're trying to show them. That's what I would just say for the portfolio. So just make sure you get basic drawing construction stuff down. There's videos on YouTube on how to do it, so you could watch those.
And if you're really feeling it, there's like so many textbooks available for drawing, for fashion illustration.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one by Steven Sippelman. I'm sure it's available at the FIT bookstore, and it's amazing.
Yeah, he's one of the teachers at FIT. So definitely that, because that's pretty much what they're going to want you to be doing there. Can you talk about the dorming process and how you made friends? I made a lot of my friends through Instagram, actually, from following people before school started, and then you would see people around, like, you move in a week before school starts into the dorms, and the freshman dorms are right across the street from the school, so it's super easy to see people. And I was really good friends with my roommate, and then we met our mutual friends through Instagram and running into people at events, and like people, DMing on Instagram like, hey, we should get coffee, we should get together, that kind of thing. So that's how I made most of my friends. And then in classes, when classes started, I made more friends through that. But I also, in general, have a lot of friends just in New York, not even necessarily at FIT. But that developed as I lived in New York for more time, because initially you're only around FIT people. So it's just easier to make friends with people there. But then my dorming process, I lived in co-ed and alumni, a co-ed double apartment and then an alumni apartment. And the dorming process is whoever has an earlier time for picking your dorm online chooses your dorm. And basically it's just like random times are assigned to random people, and you just get, it's just complete luck on if you get it or not, which is super stressful, but
yeah,
I was lucky.
There's 3 main dorm buildings for freshman students. There's co-ed, Nagler, and alumni. Co-ed, it's like a mix of traditional style dorms which don't have a bathroom or kitchen, and then they're like the nicer apartments that Tori had.
the double apartments, which is for 2 people, and it has a kitchen and a bathroom.
Yeah, they're pretty bougie.
Yeah.
They're like nice. And then there's Nagler, which is well, by the way, co-ed, it's like boys and girls are mixed, but they can't live in the same room together.
Yeah.
So like they'll be in the same building but not in the same room.
Yeah, and make sure you put that you're fine with living with any gender, or else
gender inclusive housing.
Yeah, gender
There's a little
inclusive
check mark
housing.
for that.
Check it, because if you don't, your options are going to be limited for the dorms, and you're not going to understand what happened.
Yeah, and so for Nagler, it's all girls, and I don't think any of them have a kitchen. It's just like traditional style. They have like shared bathrooms. It's really kind of bad, low key.
Except I love their windows. Their windows open all the way. And one of my friends, she lived on one of the top floors, which are the more recently renovated ones. So they're still like, but like inside the actual dorm was super cute. Like it was nice. Her bed was next to the window, and her roommate was never there, so she had that space with the windows. But that bathroom kitchen thing would drive me crazy.
Yeah,
especially being
Nagler.
vegan.
Nagler's the cheapest, but I would avoid it. I would avoid it if you.
I would avoid it, yeah.
And then there's also alumni, and it's all quad. So there's 4 people, 2 person within each suite. So you have 3 roommates basically.
Yeah.
Well, two suite mates and 1 roommate, and then for each apartment there's a bathroom and a kitchen, and it's pretty spacious. It kind of depends on which room layout you get.
Yeah.
But in general, it's like I think alumni is the best. It's where I live.
Yeah, I lived in both, and I actually liked alumni better.
Mm-hmm.
I love the dynamic of living with 3 people instead of 1. Just for me personally, that's what worked best.
Yeah.
And then the thing with the co-ed doubles is they're super nice, but there is no established place to eat. You eat in the middle of your bedroom because there's a table there. So then, like, if people leave food on that, or, you know, like there's crumbs or something, it's in the middle of your bedroom. So it's like your food table's in the middle of your bedroom, which that was one thing I just didn't like that. Like in alumni, there was a very defined space for the kitchen.
Yeah, you walk into the apartment and there's like a room with like the kitchen and then the table, and then off of that there's the bathroom and then the 2 suites.
Yeah. What about making friends?
I don't know, like you just like make friends if you want them. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to put yourself out there, I guess.
Yeah, I would say, because people ask about fashion school if it's hard to make friends. The thing is, at FIT, a lot of people look intimidating, but once you speak to them, they're really nice.
That's true.
Like, my facial expression during the day is like, I look like mean. Mm-hmm. And I don't intentionally do it, but when I'm like, when someone says hi to me or asks me a question, I'm like, oh my god, like, how are you, like, what's your name? You know, I like meeting people and making friends. I'm super friendly. It's just I don't look necessarily friendly. But most people are pretty friendly once you initiate conversation. I'm really good at doing that. I'm just that kind of person. So I just talk to a lot of people.
People are just less intimidating than they seem on Instagram. Especially at fashion school.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid.
So thank you for checking out this video. If you want me to go more into description on you know, my experience and why I switched majors and why I'm switching back once I get my degree, I can do a whole separate video for that. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, because my analytics says that 83% of you are watching my videos but aren't subscribed, which is totally cool, but you won't be able to get updates if you're not subscribed. Like, you won't get notifications. So just make sure to do that, and my social medias and his will be linked in the description below. Bye, guys.
Bye.